Hello everybody, this is Patrick with Mainland Cycle Center, and today we are looking at the full 2026 lineup of KLX 140s. So we have a KLX 140R, a KLX 140RL, and the KLX 140RF. And this is just kind of a quick breakdown to kind of talk about these motorcycles and who they're for, and what the differences are between these, because I get these questions all the time, like what is the difference between the F, the L, and the R? And they're all based off the same platform, 144cc KLX 140 engine, very similar transmissions between the three. The biggest difference between all three of these is suspension and wheel size. So being that they're all the same engine size, they're all built for a very similar rider, someone who's what we would consider low technique, low confidence. And sometimes what happens is you get a family and the whole family is like, you know what, we want to get into a new sport. We're thinking dirt bikes is what we want to get into, and we love to hear that. But none of us have any prior experience. And this is a good way to get your entire family on dirt bikes. So all three of these bikes, again, same exact engine platforms. You're going to get very similar power output out of all three of these. But height ends up being the biggest difference. So there's a lot of different methods on how you should size somebody for dirt bikes. A lot of times people are, what's the right word? When they're low confidence and low technique, oftentimes they're worried about having to touch the ground with your feet, just for more stability, because stability gains confidence, and that's completely understandable. At this level, being able to touch 1 foot or 2 foot to the ground fully flat is probably important to that person. Now, in the case as you move up in skill, height becomes less of a factor. Now, it's more of a factor for woods riding than it is for full-size race bikes that you would be like a KX 450, KX 250, or in the KTM sense, that would be like an SX model instead of an XC model, excuse me. But the rim differences we have here is on the R model is 1714, on the L model you have a 1916, and on the F you have a 2118. And there's a couple things about that as well, is the bigger the diameter of the front wheel, the more obstacles, or the easier it is to go over larger obstacles. And you know, nowadays they build 8-year-olds in about 12 different sizes. You might have an 8-year-old who's almost his daddy's height and getting up close to high fives in some cases, and other times you have an 8-year-old and he's, you know, 4 foot something. So another thing that I get all the time, a guy will say, man, I got a 10-year-old, what bike should I get him? I'm like, man, I don't have any idea. How tall is your 10-year-old? You really got to bring them in, let us size you. And another factor of these motorcycles is, you know, when they're measured without anybody on them. All of these bikes have what's called sag. So when you sit on these bikes, it lowers the seat height with your weight. And of course, you should adjust your suspension for your weight as well. But that affects what you can and can't fit on when you come and you don't have any sizing about it. But these machines, the KLX series from Kawasaki, is really built for a purely recreational rider, not someone who's going to go out and race it and jump crazy jumps and do crazy things. It's really built to build that basic skill line that you need so that you can get into a bike like a KX 250 or a KX 450 in the future. So extremely reliable, very low maintenance on these machines. Easy to ride. These are electric start, so no kicking, which is a huge benefit for folks who are trying to get in it. You really don't want to discourage them by making them exhausted to ride your motorcycle. And of course, even big bikes nowadays, kickstarts are starting to become a thing of the past. But these are all carbureted, no fuel injection on these models. it is something that we kind of hope that we see in the future from Kawasaki on these models, is digital fuel injection. But who knows? I know it is less cost effective to do that for them, and that might put these machines into a different price bracket that consumers aren't ready to pay, and that may be why they haven't done it this far. But that's just a quick look, guys, at the full 2026 KLX 140 lineup. Thank you. Ride safe out there.